Hello, my name is Susanna and welcome to Physics Chat. Physics Chat is a new show where we'll be talking to a variety of physicists at the forefront of their field. This show is for everyone, no matter your background or where you're from. We hope you will enjoy gaining insight into some of the biggest open questions there are in physics and how our guests are currently pushing the boundaries of our understanding. We'll be discussing everything from the early universe, galaxies, and gravitational waves to the personal stories of how our guests were inspired to become a physicist. In short, we hope to give you a field of view of what it is like to be a modern day physicist. I'm going to be your host today, and I'm currently researching gravitational waves at the University of Portsmouth. But I couldn't do this alone, so I'm here with my lovely co-hosts, Sergi and Joe. How are you doing, Sergi?
Thank you, Susanna. Yeah, I'm doing good. Thank you. So I'm also a PhD student at the University of Portsmouth, and my research involves testing gravity with gravitational waves.
Wow, that sounds so cool. And hello, Joe, and welcome. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're doing?
Sure. So I'm Joe. I'm another PhD student, and I study transients, which basically means objects in the sky that stay around for not very long, which in astronomy means roughly about 10 years at most.
Amazing. Today, our guest is a PhD student who is currently researching the early universe at the University of Portsmouth. Hello, Molly, and welcome to the show. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, no worries. Thank you for being on the show. So tell me, what's been the highlight of your week so far?
So I think in normal times, the highlight of my week is actually having lunch with my fellow PhD students. It's a shame at the moment it doesn't really happen, but yeah, usually it's nice when we can all sit and speak for a bit. I think when you do a PhD, because the research is quite like you're doing it on your own, and no one else really looks at the same thing you're looking at. But I think sort of the process that we all go through is quite similar, even if the research is completely different. So yeah, you're having a week where like your code isn't working or you can't figure something out. It can be quite reassuring to speak to other people who are sort of going through similar things. But it's also then really nice if someone's like doing well at that point, and like if they have a bit of a breakthrough, it's actually really nice to see that someone's doing well. So that's usually the highlight of my week.
Yeah, I think it definitely feels this way. We're doing different topics, but I think we're all going through the same journey. We're having the same challenges, and it really helps if we are there for each other. But getting a bit more into your research, could you explain us what are the big mysteries in your topic?
So the biggest mystery, if you like, in my field is actually the origin story of our universe. So you might have heard of the Big Bang. This is basically a singularity that our universe we think has sort of supposedly emerged from. But with sort of other theories we have for like the evolution of our universe, it makes it hard to understand what's going on with the singularity, and there's a lot of issues and a lot of unknowns that we can't quite put our finger on. So you kind of either need some new physics to tackle it head on and try and actually understand what it is, or you can also kind of look at alternative theories, which is more in my field.
And from what you're saying, I take that this initial singularity is a bad thing, a thing that we don't really understand. But could you maybe explain to us what do we exactly mean by a singularity?
Yeah, so the evolution of our universe now, it's expanding, and basically the idea was if you take this evolution backwards, everything's kind of coming to a point. The issue is when you get to this singularity, this point in the universe, it breaks a lot of laws of physics that we know and love and understand. So you get like infinite densities and infinite temperatures at this point. So yeah, the physics to describe this point is we don't really know. So yeah, there are problems. We do have a problem with the singularity, but I mean, alternative theories also have problems. So there's problems all over the place. So we're trying to understand what's actually going on.
So you're working on one of these alternative theories, I take. Could you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, so my area more specifically is bouncing or cyclic cosmologies. So in a bounce, instead of having a singularity that our universe emerges from, it basically says that there was a period of contraction and then a transition and then a period of expansion. And this transition between the contraction and the expansion is what we call a bounce.
I see. And then these bounds, because it bounces, then it completely avoids having a singularity, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's super interesting. And yeah, this is the big picture, but what is your research specifically? What are you working on right now?
So I look at the dynamics basically of our universe. So at the moment I'm working on, so I have equations that describe components in our universe. So our universe is predominantly made of dark energy and dark matter. So we can kind of use equations that describe these components and then see how the universe evolves. And then I'm kind of looking for cases where you have, I'm particularly interested in where we have a bounce. So yeah, when we solve these equations, you can actually see where you get this bouncing behavior, or where you might have cyclic behavior. So that's where you have like multiple periods of you have a bounce and then expansion and then contraction and you have another bounce, and those are the bits that I'm really interested in.
Sounds amazing. Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, honestly, it's really interesting. It's kind of cool. Like you look at, if I get a new plot, I'm like, well, I'm the first person that's seen this, which is quite cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, Molly, it's just amazing to hear about you thinking about the universe when it was just starting, or looking back so far in time. And I'm sure quite a few people would think, it seems so amazing where you've ended up. What was it that got you interested in physics in the first place, and what inspired you to go all the way to doing a PhD in it?
So originally my interest actually stemmed from my dad. His career is not in physics at all, but he was quite and still is quite a keen amateur astronomer. And I remember when we were younger, he would take me and my sister out to watch the Perseids in the summer, so like the meteor shower. And yeah, I remember sometimes it would be a bit begrudgingly on mine and my sister's part if it was like cold and there was some complaining going on sometimes. But I remember the second one of us like spotted a meteor, we'd be like, okay, who can see the next one? Who can see the next one? It'd be a bit of a competition. And then, he would explain like constellations he knew, and anything that he knew or he was learning, he would, try and teach me and my sister. And then I was kind of just interested through school from that. I think, by the time I got to university, you realise the more you learn about physics as well, the more questions there are that we don't know. And then kind of the more you want to try and understand and try and get a better picture of what's actually going on. And I think, now I'm just at a point where I want to try and tackle some of those questions. So that's how I ended up where I am.
Fantastic. It's great to hear about family connections like that, of people that get interested. Like I remember, I think part of my interest comes from my dad talking about the space race, growing up in the 60s and just getting interested in space from there. So yeah, it's brilliant. If there was someone you were speaking to who's maybe looking at, has an interest in physics and wants to see if they want to, go to uni and go and do a PhD, what advice would you give to them?
I think if you're passionate about the subject, I think try and keep at it. I mean, personally, I didn't always have like the best grades in physics. I wasn't always the best at physics at school, but I think if you're passionate about it, keep at it. Don't be disheartened if you get a bad grade on the test, or if you think, oh, it's not for me. Like it really is. And I think if I told myself when I was at school that I'd be doing a PhD now, I don't think I'd have believed myself. But yeah, I think you can yes, if you're interested and you are curious and you have those questions and maybe you're a bit stubborn and you can't take like we don't actually know as an answer, like keep doing it, because we definitely need people like that in the field.
Fantastic. Yeah, I completely agree that it's all about that interest and just making sure that you kind of foster it and asking those questions that are difficult but you want to know the answer to. So that's really important. So you said about your dad teaching you going stargazing with you. At the moment, the time of year it's great to go out stargazing. Is there anything that when you're looking at the night sky that you keep an eye out for in particular?
I have an eye on Orion. If you're looking at Orion, if you look at his left shoulder, there's a star called Betelgeuse, and that's quite a good candidate at the moment for a supernova. So basically means it's nearing the end of its life and it'll explode. But that would be honestly amazing if I get to witness that in my lifetime. But that's I say yes, it's a good candidate for it, but soon in astronomy is not soon in terms of our lifetime. So I always have an eye on Betelgeuse, but whether it's supernovas or not in this in my lifetime is a big ask. But
Brilliant. Well, it's really good to hear that that early interest and your dad teaching you stuff has resulted in you going and do a PhD, but you still like just looking at the sky and seeing what's there. Thank you.
Oh, amazing. Sergi, what's your favorite constellation then?
Me, wow, I don't know. To be honest, I don't really know much about constellations, but I heard one thing which I thought was interesting, and it's in the Big Dipper. One of the stars, I don't remember which one, is actually a binary. So binary is two stars which are circling each other, and you can actually see that with your naked eye. And I think this was used as a test of eyesight in ancient times for people who wanted to become archers. They had to pass this test.
Brilliant. What about you, Joe? What's your favorite constellation?
I think the Plough or the Big Dipper, as you said, is such a recognizable one. It's always one that I spot. And the thing I know about that as well is the leftmost two stars. If you kind of draw a line between them and then keep following it, you end up at a really bright star called Polaris, or the North Star. And that's just interesting because if you're looking at that star, you're facing north. So it's always useful to know in which direction you are.
Oh, brilliant. Well,
what about you, Susanna?
I don't have a favorite constellation. I think the furthest I got was wrapping myself in an anorak, trying not to get bitten by mosquitoes and looking at the moon with my binoculars. So Anyway, thank you so much, Molly, for coming on the show and sharing with us your fascinating research. We wish you all the best for your PhD and future endeavours.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Well, we hope you've enjoyed today's chat with Molly, as I certainly have. And thank you so much for joining us. Sergi, Joe, and myself will be back for another chat sometime soon. So we hope to see you again. But for now, we hope you have a great day. And as Molly said, follow your passion. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.